Welcome back to another episode of Alchemize Your Life. I am your host, Tori, and today we have a photographer, videographer, dancer, all around creative. Welcome, Marquise.
Thank you, thank you,
Do you like
thank
to be
you.
called Mark?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but I remember at the photo shoot, she called you Mark, and I was like, oh.
There's such a long, storied history behind that switch up, but yeah,
Tell
Mark is
us.
good.
What's the story?
Oh boy, this is going back a while. So when I was younger, I tried to do the whole singing artist thing,
Uh-huh.
and I was in like a little boy band or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my name in the group was Marquise.
Okay.
Because my actual name was my actual middle name is Mark.
Got it.
And so Marquise is what we started as. We got signed, we went on tour and all that stuff. And Marquise kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So people knew me from dance world and doing the music at the same time because I was a dancer first.
Right.
And so when people started knowing me as Marquise, and then when I transitioned into production, it stuck.
Got it.
But a lot of people can't say Marquise. They say Marquis, Marcus.
Okay.
And,
Got it.
Yeah. And so I was like, let's just go back to Mark.
Uh-huh.
Like on call sheets,
make
it would
it
always
easy.
be like, so who's Marquise? My first name was Anthony. And then, so where does Mark come in? So that's how it came in. But I'm trying to scroll it back to Mark now because that's my actual name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark. So we'll call you
Yeah.
Mark. So I like to kind of start at how old were you when you went on tour?
Singing?
Yeah. When you were in the group?
21 to like 23.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was
it
just
was a
saying
lot of fun.
I was just saying to someone like, someone I work with, when he was younger, he was like they called him like the young Hercules or something like that. And like we all didn't know. We just kind of found out. But I was just like, it's so interesting how many lives you can live in your one life. Like what a crazy but like exciting thing. Like so many different like representations of you is wild.
The thing I love about that is at one point I had to become a little bit, my apologies, self-aware of that because as you get older, it feels like sometimes it's harder to start new things because when you're young, you kind of have that young delusional, optimism that helps us just jump into things. But as you get older, responsibilities start kicking in and like you start thinking about your future. And so it can be really easy to feel like you have to stick with something or go back to something that may not have been as successful.
Yeah.
And one of the things I took into account for myself was I did dance, then I did music, then I owned a dance studio for a little bit, then I jumped into production. And what I wanted to do is to incorporate that kind of like optimistic naivete into the things that I do. Because even with production, I've been behind the camera for most of my life, but at the level that I was doing it, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so like when I first started, that kind of imposter syndrome was there.
That's hard to like navigate.
It is. And this is why I also believe it's very important to have people that speak power into you. Because I had a friend who went to Los Angeles Film School, and she just kind of like just reiterated to me that imposter syndrome is something that we all face, and no matter at whatever level that we're at. And so that's when I was like, okay,
I do too.
Yeah. And so her reminding me of that kind of like push something in me to put me back to remember when you didn't think you could go on tour as a dancer, or remember when in LA at least photography was something you were trying to do, not something you were actually doing. And so I was like, okay, cool, that's right. So I kind of brought myself back to those things where I was doing things where they weren't germane or naturally in something that I was excelling at the time, but I was able to incorporate certain things that I learned from those other areas of my life and, give myself, like I said, that kind of naive delusion that I can do this. Because for myself, that's what a lot of my big accomplishments were. Like my first show choreographing in LA, I was nobody. And I was asking people that I knew from back home in Florida and people that I knew out here to support me. And I'll never forget one of my mentors was just like, he had to sit me down and say, what you're trying to achieve is not just fly by night achievement. It's something that a lot of people have to work towards. So the fact that you believe that you can do that at the level that you're at is something that is unique. It's like you need to know that. And so I try to bring that to all the things that I've tried new, even with the art show that's coming up. It's like I've never done that before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, cool. If I believe I can do these things and try to actually do them to the best of my ability, at best, it's a learning experience. Like my first video as a videographer was terrible. Like one scene, hat was to the front, hat was to the back. Like there was no
the editing wasn't there yet
at all.
Yeah.
But I had to go through those stages to get, to where I am now, where I'm shooting BTS for magazines and stuff in LA. So it's kind of like taking into account your full journey.
Yeah.
So that you can, push yourself in other areas. So,
yes. That's when you talk, I'm like, I'm so in it because it makes so much sense. And you have a really nice way of articulating it and just being like assessing all of it. I think sometimes it's easy to get lost in like, you're not doing the thing, you're not good at it. But, the belief is a big thing. So it's, obviously like, I forget who you said it, but having the belief already is really great because some people have a hard time starting there.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have the belief in themselves that they can do the thing.
Yeah.
And then the ability to like track back to different opportunities where you were like, oh, like, no, I did do this. And like, just reminding yourself like, no, I've done the hard things already and I can continue to like do it again. Cause even for me with this, like, this is hard for me. Like
I tried.
This is very hard, like I still get nervous not sometimes, all the time, but I'm trying to remind myself like you have to suck to be great. You have to look silly to be great. Like, like you may not.
And kudos to you because content production, I'm not gonna lie, doing it for yourself is a monumental task.
Yeah, I mean, and luckily I have my cousin who's, also the producer.
Shout out to the cousin.
She takes, half of it because there's a lot of stuff about podcasting that I don't know where she's worked with so many podcasts. Like she knows, how to structure and what works and what doesn't. But like, even these times I'm just like, you have to just do it. Like you might not be great at first, but you have to kind of like just do the thing. Seriously. Going back to like, what it sounds like is you keeping your inner child alive in all of your journeys, which I think is extremely important.
It's really important.
I think a lot of adults do that, but a lot of adults don't do that. And I feel like if they were to just reignite that, they could find a lot of passion and joy in what they do. What was, even if it seemed magical or like maybe out of reach at the time, what was your biggest dream as a child? Was it to be like in the creative industry and singing and dancing or like an astronaut? Or?
Funny enough, I always wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be an actor. I will say being a dancer kind of fulfilled that for me. It was fun. I loved the attention. But I started to realize that I loved the control of creating a little bit more. I also had a really good connection from a really young age in directing people and helping them get their vision out. So I did dance professionally. I came here in 2010 and I did it for like 6 or 7 years. And so I will say, even as a dancer, I was still trying to get on set as a PA or anything. Like I'm talking to the behind the scenes people like, if you need someone, just let me know.
Yeah.
But because production can be kind of a tight-knit situation, especially before the pandemic, it didn't happen for me. But I think my realization was like performing out of the country on a tour. It was just like that was the best thing for me. Like being able to travel and do something that I really, really love was the best thing. So growing up, I would say I wanted to be in front of the camera, but over the journey of everything I did, that's when I kind of learned that I loved to be behind the camera. Yeah.
So it sounds like you've already lived out your child dream.
It's so scary to say that because there's levels to it.
I mean, it's not to say like it's, you have no more dreams, but like you fulfilled that for.
But that's actually the feeling I get a lot of times. I'm like, wow, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. But I think at this point of my life, it's less about the height and more about the consistency. And so even in that, like revisiting and revitalizing that inner child,
Yeah.
I very often go back to, well, I didn't quite do it at the level, or I did it, but I did it with the opportunities that were just organically provided for me. I wasn't like I was able to go specifically after one particular thing and get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I still challenge myself in that way
Mm-hmm.
because um life is long and we
Yeah.
have to keep finding ways to reinvigorate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even in things that you might do, you know, consistently or you've been doing for a long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. At what point? So it sounds like you've always known creativity was more than just a hobby.
always, 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 always. And I didn't find out until later when I was an adult that I got that like internally from my mom. She was the same way.
Mm.
I tried to move to LA at 18. Couldn't do it. It's too expensive.
Yeah. So
But
did you move here and then you had to go back?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And then as I got older, I talked to my mom and she was like, "Yeah, I went out there and I visited my aunt one year and
Mm-hmm.
I thought I got me a job and everything, but I found out that she loved LA too."
Mm-hmm.
I
I
remember
remember you
as
telling me that.
yeah, I remember as a kid, like she would come back and talk about the mountains and stuff. And I lived in Tennessee at the time. So
Okay.
yeah, we had like the Rockies and up in like Nashville and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen like mountains and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
even growing up, I remember being at the breakfast table and my mom talking about it.
Yeah.
So it kind of made sense that it
Mm-hmm.
all culminated into me ending up being here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like it's kind of a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. It's so funny because even like I don't want to say it's similar, but like when I started, you said you were in front of the camera, you went to like behind the camera, you
hmm
kind of found that way. I started with a lot of like behind the camera, like PA stuff, like doing a lot of stuff for
Really?
free. Yeah.
Really?
And trying to navigate where did I feel like I fit in? This was like at a time where I was trying to figure out what I even wanted to do,
hmm
but I did a lot of free stuff behind the scenes. And
What age range was this?
we had just moved here, so it was not even that long ago. I want to
Okay.
say maybe from like, I think I started on 26 or 27, and I did it for about like a year
hmm
of just a bunch of, PA stuff, like figuring out creative direction. And it's funny that you say you liked helping people more figure out their vision and how to
hmm
direct it. Cause while I thought I wanted to do something like that, I actually don't. Like, cause there's a lot that goes into that,
Yeah.
like, and of giving the direction to make sure that you can take what someone sees in their mind and making it like
Those deliverables.
tangible.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I couldn't, because I helped my friends on one of the photo shoots they did, and I'm so grateful that they allowed me to help them.
hmm
But it was very hard for me to like direct and navigate the photographer to get what I wanted.
hmm
But I found while sometimes I get a little nervous in front of the camera, I do like being in
Yeah.
front of the camera opposed
Yeah.
to behind the camera for sure. Um, so into the becoming, and moving to LA, because LA is like a big city,
It is.
and to navigate it and the connections and everything, how do you go about building relationships, and why is it so important to make those connections?
Building relationships in LA is tricky.
Yeah. The vibes here are a little different.
It's very different. I will say being cautious,
Yeah.
not being afraid of losing an opportunity for the bigger picture is one thing that I had
Mm,
to learn.
yeah.
Knowing your boundaries, knowing who
hmm
you are,
That's very important. I'm
those
so
are
happy you say
really
that.
big things because LA has a lot to offer,
Mm-hmm.
but it will ask for things back,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. That's
And
very important that you say that.
and so I had the opportunity again in those different lifetimes and different, you know, not career paths, but in those different things that I did along the way,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of learned my boundaries and, you know, what I was willing to let go of, what I was willing to
Mm,
fight for and stuff like that. So, and I got to do that at a higher level because like I said, I was in the boy band and stuff like that
mm-hmm.
before I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got here and I got to see and meet I was blessed to meet a very amazing humble, talented people. Like my first time moving to LA, did you ever watch So You Think You Can Dance?
I have. I've seen it.
Yeah. So like way back, did you remember Twitch? Rest in peace.
No.
So he was the first person I met when I moved to LA. A friend of mine was just like, we're gonna go to the studio, we're gonna have this freestyle session, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm literally fresh off the boat, just got here, excited. I go, and the guy that rented the space was Twitch, and at this time he was like really big choreographer for So You Think You Can Dance and everything. And to see his genuineness and like his humility for like these people that just really love this certain type of art, it kind of made it very apparent to me that you can reach some of the highest heights in LA and still be a really good person. And so like little lessons like that kind of showed me that you can achieve the things you want and you can get really successful without having to take on some of the negative attributes of LA and, you know, success and stuff like that. So keeping those things, the positive and the boundaries in mind, it kind of made it easier for me to navigate. Now, it definitely made my path a little bit longer and a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But I just never felt those limiting thoughts of, well, if I either have to sell my soul or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew like there are people that are really good people that have really genuine spirits that have achieved amazing things. But I also knew that you have to be able to, you know, set your boundaries and stuff like that. So I've always loved, because again, like we said, like we had the conversation, I love the sociology of it. I love kind of finding that balance between, okay, this is the environment or the crowd that I need to be around, but these are my standards and morals for myself. How do I make those two coincide? Because in LA, a lot of the opportunities come in social experiences. Not experiences, in social environments.
Yeah. You said the opportunities?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good trying to play that balance. But I mean, I feel like if you kind of have a good assessment on who you are as a person and your boundaries, it's not easy, but you can definitely navigate it.
Yeah. The learning your boundaries or like LA?
LA.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, you mentioning to know yourself and your boundaries is so important because you can get swallowed up in LA.
Yes.
You can absolutely get swallowed up in LA. And even like when people move out here and they have this persona of the people in LA of just living in what they think is the persona, but it's not actually. So already starting out in that negative mindset of, you know, in order to get somewhere, I have to sell my soul. Like, you know, you're already starting off wrong. And it is unfortunate because, like you said, you can be extremely successful and still be a really good, humbled person. And sometimes I think it's hard for people to grasp it, because for a long time for me, not in that context, but just in certain circumstances of life, it was hard for me to understand like the duality of things. Like two things can be true. So I think that's a very important thing that you mentioned for people to understand is like you can do both. You can have it all. You can be successful, but also be a really good person.
Yeah, really good person. And like I said, that being a good person will reverberate like throughout the industry, your life, your friends. A lot of my philosophies come back to the fact that life is long. Like we can feel like whether it's the year or the moment or the second or the minute that we're in, we have to make decisions that are going to like, well, for me anyway, I'm an overthinker.
Me too. It's okay.
Yeah. So you feel like, okay, I got to make this decision now, but it's going to affect this. And it's like, it's okay to be still, to be in that moment, do what you feel is best at that time, and be okay with, okay, it might not pan out exactly the way I want to, but I'm comfortable in myself. I'm comfortable in my decision. And this is at least what I believe is right for right now. And going with that code that you have within yourself, for me, at least, I can be at peace with it.
Yeah.
I can be okay with the consequences of the decision I made. For me, I can't be okay with the consequences that I let someone like maneuver or affect, because those consequences might not necessarily have been something that I signed up for.
Right.
So for me, I'm okay. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not doing this because I need to get this opportunity to network with this person and then do that so that I can be here for. No, it's right now. I'm going to make the best of this moment. I'm going to make the most of this moment. And then see what happens from that, because life is long and you just don't know. The consequences or the benefits might not show themselves. I've definitely met people in one part of my life or my career, and the manifestation of how they, were going to be in my life or how we were going to work together or something hasn't manifested itself until much later in my life.
Yeah.
And so, but the good part about that is if you plant those positive seeds, you just don't know when they're going to grow. But if you do so in a genuine form, you have to be okay with it and just keep going on to the next thing. Because, you never know how that might manifest itself.
Yeah. You just have like a really positive outlook, and that's such a great place to be, of like, you know yourself so well that in each moment, like, you're okay with trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And like, a long story short, like, just trusting that you know yourself so well and how you want to go about things, and being okay as long as you have control over like what you feel is okay for you.
That took time though, Tori.
I know. No.
That took
I know.
So the thing for me, again, I say it's really important to have positive people that speak power into you, around you. Because when I was in a lot of my low moments, I would think about like, oh, I remember when this friend said that about their perception of me. And they may have just been speaking about something I accomplished or did. And so a lot of times in my low moments, I pull myself back to that. And I was like, I was able to accomplish that. I was able to do that. And even though for me at the time, it may have just been a wish, want, hope type thing, to hear someone else's perspective from the outside of how it was attained, it was like, okay, there's a power in that wish, want, hope, though. You know what I'm saying? That we sometimes discount ourselves because we've been living with it for months, years, whatever. But in actuality, that means stuff. That's why they say there's power in words. I used to literally walk around and say I was the unluckiest person in the world. Yeah. And I didn't know how much that affected my life. And it wasn't until I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try saying I'm the luckiest person in the world. And there was a direct juxtaposition between how things happened for me. And that was kind of like a literal point for me where I was like, oh, wow. So even with the content thing, like we were saying, just doing stuff and just trying and getting, just saying, give yourself that chance. And so much can happen from that,
That's crazy. People don't even give themselves the chance.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But I understand there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah.
Though. There's like, even in myself, I'm still every day trying to like a new day to just,
But you have the awareness of it. And even before you started to go into the point of like, it took time, like I was like, even just in the way you speak about things and the perspective, I could already tell that you're someone who's very intentional, and that you do pull back and you sit and you think about things that happen or what was said to you, or like you really will. I mean, I don't know how you go about it, whether it's in silence or solitude or however you do it for you. You could tell
talking to myself
that
in the car.
Yeah.
Talking to myself in the car a lot.
Yeah. Driving in silence is helpful for me.
Yeah.
And you go in, like, I just learned this, you go into like the theta wave brain where you're kind of in a trance, but like you can see it and you can hear it when you talk. It's like, oh, like he sits and he takes a minute to like understand his circumstances and himself and his like everything. You can definitely.
For me, it took a while because I think when you're younger, you have the opportunity to just go, go, go. You don't really have to sit and think about certain things. Like we're young, we're beautiful,
we have no care, no bills, no
yeah,
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So you have the opportunity to go, go, go. And then as I got older, what I did is I kind of took a step back and took an account of all the cool, dope things I was able to do. And as you get older and those responsibilities, and it almost becomes literally more on you because you're working to pay bills. You're working to, keep yourself healthy and sane. You're working to keep an active social life. I was like, there was something that I had organically when I was younger that I wanted to keep and retain. And it's that inner child. And so I was like, okay, as an adult, I have to be more in control of my actions to get those results now. It's not just, you wake up and an opportunity just flies out of nowhere. It's like you actually have to put thought and action behind those things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when those things would happen and I wouldn't get my outcome I wanted, I would ask myself, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And what part did I play in that?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I take responsibility for certain things, I look at steps earlier and earlier and earlier in the process of the things I'm trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So this is how I can maneuver things a little bit differently. And a lot of times it's the outlook.
Mm-hmm.
I can be a control freak. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like being able to control the
Yeah.
results.
Yeah.
But you can only control how you show up.
Yeah.
You can only control the energy that you bring
Mm-hmm.
when you present yourself.
Yeah.
And if those are accurate to who you are, then you've done your job.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control the outcome,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So taking that into consideration, I'm like, okay, am I okay with the way I represented either my intentions or myself in this moment? And if I am, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Yeah, even with the inner child thing, even now, like I have built such a relationship with my inner child. Like she's definitely still, that's why I still dance and model. Like it's really for her because that's what she wanted to do.
I want to take a dance class so bad.
You
It's been so
should.
long.
It's probably like riding a bike.
But this is the thing. It feels like there's so much pressure because I did it professionally. So going back and not being good, that's an ego thing. I know. I need to get over that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Because you know what I mean? Like it might be like riding a bike. Like I can understand where it's like it takes a minute. And obviously LA, like my friend, she's a dancer. She's like, it can be sometimes intimidating in LA because like things become so competitive, even when you just want to go to a dance class and have fun. Like it's always just like, let's just show out because, we could get picked for, you know what I mean? And like, it doesn't have to be like that. You know, you could just go and just be joyful about it and have a good time. I think you should do it.
Hell.
But yeah, so I've built my relationship with my inner child, and I think it's so important that people do. And maybe sound like a broken record saying this, but even when I have moments where I'm like maybe discouraged or something didn't go my way or I'm not feeling the greatest, or even when I am feeling the greatest, when I am talking to myself, I'm imagining myself speaking to little Tori. Like if something's happening where it's like maybe a little frustrating, like I'm envisioning little Tori and we are having a conversation. And that honestly makes it easier for me to navigate those times because it's like, yeah, I'm talking to a younger person. I think it's just been a very helpful tool for me to navigate that.
And I think that's really good because in just studying and learning about how to navigate those areas, sometimes giving certain feelings or certain thought processes or certain conversations a figurative, literal embodiment is so beneficial. I forgot what I was looking up, but I was reading something and it was like, in certain scenarios when you have anxiety, instead of looking at it as a specific, just a feeling, look at it as a person that you might have a difference of opinion or something with. And the second they walk in the room, you're going to feel it, but you know how to deal with that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, at least, that was a little bit beneficial because when I'm nervous or I'm anxious about something, instead of feeling like it's something I need to avoid or get away from, I'm just like, that unpleasant person just walked in the room, but I know how to deal with that.
Yes.
It's just a matter of, okay, now I know what to do. And so for me, I like the figurative embodiment of little Tori because it's very true. Like you're a lot more gentle. You're a lot more nurturing, a lot more caring, a lot more understanding. And that's such a beautiful analogy because it lets you be a lot more gentle with yourself. So
yeah, and that's why I did it, because even like you, like I would just beat myself up. I would be so like unloving to myself. Like years ago, I've done the work because I realized that that's not good, and I was just so hard on myself, and I would like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like insult myself, like just so many things, and I'm like, at the time, I didn't realize what I was doing to myself. Like it was just something natural. It was, at some point, it's programmed, it's habit, it's just your way of life.
You're consistently judging yourself.
Unfortunately. But I was like, you can't, like, imagine, this is what it was. This is what it was. I was like, imagine saying that to little you.
Yeah.
that would break her. And
Yeah.
essentially that is still who you are. And
Yeah.
you're sitting here talking to yourself like that.
Yeah.
So it's so funny when you said like you're walking around saying you're unlucky, and it's just like, you know, our words are really affecting our actions and just the way we treat ourselves. It's just it's incredible.
Yeah.
In kind of backtracking, but it's still kind of relevant, in regard to the sociology of things. And I think it would be really beneficial for not just introverted listeners. It would be very helpful for us because it was helpful for me, but just for anyone, of like, how did you go about navigating, you know, networking or making the connections that made it easier for you, and like the little things that you picked up? Because I really did think that was very insightful because I never thought of those.
So I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
I am 1,000% an introvert.
Yeah.
What I did for myself was I had to figure out what my natural superpowers were. And we all have them, whether it be your smile, your sense of style, your connection, your genuineness with people, whatever it might be. I had to take an account of that. And then I asked myself, okay, if you're not gonna just go out there and do it and be in people's faces and network and stuff, what are some things that you have been told in the scenarios that you like to be in that were positives when you may not have felt like you were at your strongest? So for myself, one of the things that I would get compliment on is my smile, my energy, things like that. And so I was like, instead of trying to walk into a room and be someone that I'm not, I'm going to walk into a room and show the qualities that from research and assessment and time, I've been told are, you know, qualities that I possess. And when I did that, I realized I was operating more in my comfort zone of myself. Because the second you put me in a room to get an opportunity and for me to be someone else and to be self-centered and talk about myself, it's not going to work. But if you ask me to talk about something I love, I light up. You know what I'm saying? And people are drawn to that light. And so what I always advise people to do is, instead of trying to go specifically for a desired outcome, again, show up as your best self, your brightest self, your most warmest self, and talk about things that matter to you. And what you'll find is there's a connection that we all have within all of us, that love, that passion, that spark.
We're human.
And people will be drawn to that, and they will try to add to that. And so whether it's something like something you look really good or feel comfortable wearing, or whether it's an attribute about yourself that you feel like it makes you feel like empowered. If you step into those things, certain things will be drawn to you. And then once you are in a comfortable place and those things are drawn to you, you can start to address the areas in which that you want to actually grow or get things accomplished. But if, like, again, I'm an introvert. If you put me in a room and was like, hey, this is every big photographer in the world, you could literally change your life, I will clam up, I will freeze up. But if I go in there, something as small as starting a conversation based off of something that I might find appealing, or I might find creative, or that I like just in general, you can connect with someone if it's a very genuine interaction. And that's what I had to learn. I walk in, and if I like your shirt, I really love your shirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And a genuine compliment over a compliment with a desired effect, especially once you start getting into certain rooms and certain areas, that people can tell. People can tell when you're trying to just get something out of them. And so I started stepping into that, which helped me step into my power, which helped me talk about things that I actually genuinely cared about. And when you have that genuine connection with someone, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Like, you can grow something.
And they'll remember you.
And
they're going to remember you.
And they're going to remember you. And that's the thing. Like, in LA, it's such a, pardon me, it's such a rat race to get the opportunity, get this person to remember my name. Like, just get.
People get lost in that. And I can say I could probably, not because I want to, but I get lost in that instead of thinking about how this is going to make or bring your next opportunity, which is, it's not to say that's a bad thing to think about, but you're getting so strung up on that instead of playing to your strengths. like focus on your strengths and it'll come off genuine, and then you'll
Yes.
attract what you need to attract to get the outcome.
And then you feel good.
Mm.
Then you feel good. I would say it's kind of like if someone was like, hey, there's this task that we're going to do. You'll win a really big prize, but it's going to be, let's say you can lift 25 pounds.
Yeah.
And so you're going to go into that knowing I can lift 25 pounds. This is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, you know, this is going to be the task. You'll win a lot of money afterwards. And you're going to have to try to lift 200 pounds. Then you're like, wait, I'm not sure. Like, am I, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're so unsure. But when you know that what you're walking into, you have the equipment, you have the skills, you have something that you can actually use to get you to that next point, it just helps you. When you first get there, it's very, very nerve-wracking because, again, being in these situations, there are great opportunities that, you know, can really, I do not take away the seriousness of the opportunities that you might receive. But I just know for myself, when I walk in, stepping in my strength, I feel a lot less out of control of what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can even feel yourself when you're overextending or you're pushing too much because you're like, wait, doesn't even feel organic anymore, you know? And so after a little, you know, trial and error of that, you start to feel like, okay, cool. I know if I go in, I'm going to put my, you know, big smile on. I'm going to...
Even the color of your shirt, because I remember you mentioned
exactly,
that, like specific colors.
So that was something else I looked at. I do a lot of research on just how to optimize and make opportunities happen better for you.
I think that's great.
Because like I said, I am not a networker. I am not a networker at all. And so like even the type of colors that you wear, that you know, the outfit, the cut, the way you wear your hair, little things like that is really big in putting you in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I just went back, I took an assessment and I was like, I'll never forget, there was this day a long time ago. I think I was doing Uber. And I just wore this random pink hoodie. Not even a hoodie, it was just a regular crew neck. And that day I got so many people that were either smiling, speaking, complimenting. I'm like, this is literally just a Forever 21 pink crew neck.
Yeah.
And it just drew so much energy that was positive to me. And I was like, okay, cool. I took that into account. And then I look at little things like that along the way of my day or whatever I'm doing. And I say, okay, I want to bring that energy to me when I'm in this other situation.
Yeah.
So, all right, now I have this, I'm on set and there's hundreds of people running around and some of these people are big names and this, that, and the other. What am I going to do to make myself stand out without being like, hey, look at me, look at me. And so like, I'll wear that pink crew neck. And then that day is the day that everyone remembers my name and you hear people, you know, complimenting you in different departments. And it's like little things like that will help you. I know you're going to like this, alchemize your life.
Yes, exactly.
Little things like that help you alchemize your life so that it's like, you're like putting little potions together to make this one big potion that's going to help you change your life for the better. But it's a lot of like
bunch of little
tinkering.
things.
It's a lot of tinkering and like noticing little things.
Yeah. And I think people think it's like an overnight thing. No. You know, it's like they don't think of like something as small as that is going to continue to add up to change your life. And that's what I want to like really highlight to people. It's like, believe in yourself and like be so committed to yourself that you create it as a lifelong thing. Like people say about fitness and wellness, like make it a lifestyle to always want to learn about yourself in different circumstances, in different rooms or in different times of your life. Like always make it a priority to come back to yourself and tweak even the smallest of things, because over amount of like a greater span is when you really start to kind of see, you know, how you've changed your life. And it can be discouraging when it's like someone really wants to make a change and they think it's like this one big event that happens kind of overnight. And it's like, it's those tiny, like 2% changes that you make consistently.
And I would even say do it before you believe in yourself.
Yeah. Because following through is what builds up. So like, even if you don't believe in yourself yet, if you know the way you should do it, try it. Yeah. Just try it. Just do it. Just try it. Because the actual action of doing something different puts your body in a totally different space. Like I'll never forget, they say sometimes like even like driving
to the same destination a different way just tweaks your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could drive home from work every day, but if you just take a different route one day, and you'll see just like little synapses in your brain just are firing different because you're seeing something different and you're getting something different. So I always, and I do this myself, like, for me, the most recent way I did it was working out. Like, do it before you even really feel like you can do it.
That's me right now. I'm gonna take that advice.
Like, do it. No, like, seriously, because I never worked out.
Yeah.
Never worked out. Ever,
and
ever.
you be in the gym.
Now
You're
I am.
super
Now I
consistent.
am. I had to set myself up where I had the accountability. I had to do it every day. And I know I did the 75 hard challenge. And I know that's a little bit extreme.
We did it too.
But nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, but the thing about it was me actually going and doing it, like having to get up and actually go do it, even if it was a bad one. It started to link to how I ate based on how I felt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, cool. I don't want to feel too sluggish when I go to the gym, so I'm going to eat a little bit better. And then from that, it went to getting enough sleep. Like, it starts to just build over into other habits that you never knew you necessarily cared about.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always advise people to, even when you don't think necessarily, like I said, when I stopped saying I'm the unluckiest person in the world, I didn't believe I wasn't the unluckiest person in the world. But I just said, okay, if they say there's power in words, I keep saying
there got to be truth to it.
Let me just try. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because the worst thing is you're just in the same position anyways.
Exactly.
So you might as well just try it.
Exactly. So I was like, at least let me try. So I just started saying it, just saying it. Even when situations that were unfavorable, just saying it. And it was when something good happened and I said it, that again, that kind of like alchemization happens where it's like, oh, your brain gets those endorphins and things like that. And you're like, okay, cool, that first time. And you keep going. So I like to say, even before, because the mind is a very powerful thing, but actions are even more powerful. So even when you don't believe, just, you know what? I said I'm gonna work out. I said I'm gonna go for a walk today. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna just go. Just 15 minutes this first one. Just do it. You know what I'm saying?
And then you feel better afterwards anyways. Like,
you do.
You might feel like, miserable doing it. And I always say, like, I used to be a lot more active than I am now. I have to get back into my routine. But I used to even say, like, do it miserable.
Yeah. Get
up and do it miserable, because after the workout or whatever it is, you're probably gonna feel so much better after.
Yeah.
It's gonna completely change your mood.
And there's something to be said about the feeling of accomplishment. Yeah. And
that's how you build confidence too, is like following through for yourself, doing the hard things. People sometimes find confidence in the way you dress and, what you wear and what you do, but like that stuff can be gone, So it's about following through on the hard things. And that is what builds confidence, because you know that you can do it, even if it's not, exciting in the moment.
And see, that's the thing. It can get to a place where it's not exciting, but that's when you have to look deeper into yourself and understand the benefits you've gotten. Like, that's where that comes in.
Yeah. I speaking of when you said, you were mentioning unlucky, is there ever a time where someone has come through where it's shifted everything? Was that time, or is
what
there
do
a
you
time?
Mean?
Let's see. Like maybe like an opportunity, maybe something you manifested or something that shouts out at you that kind of maybe completely changed the timeline. And maybe not.
I will say my first big production job.
Okay.
It was the way it happened was so random. So a friend of mine, I'd been wanting to get into production for forever. And a friend of mine, she was a production coordinator for this makeup line. And she just literally was like, hey, I need a PA for the half day. And I was like, okay, cool. And I went. I was like, I got to work my other job, but I'll come in halfway. So make a long story less long. I went. I did the PA job. From the PA job, I met someone that worked for Amazon.
Okay.
She gave me the opportunity to work with someone that worked with a lot of the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. That put me in the place to meet someone that worked for Spin Magazine.
Okay.
And then that kind of took me into being able to shoot Demi Lovato and
That's
Paris
incredible.
Jackson and Willow Smith. And I will say for me, it feels like such a huge jump, but a lot of my career has just been people giving me great opportunities based off of us meeting each other, to be honest.
Yeah.
And again, that comes from being comfortable in the moment, because at the time, like, I hadn't done anything near as big. And then just imagine, I think the first call was for Demi Lovato, and you're just like this do-it-yourself videographer. Yeah. And they're like, we need you for this, cover shoot.
That's incredible.
And I'm just like, I don't want to tell all the ways I tried to, I had to psych myself up for that. But it was a great opportunity. So I'll say the way that everything has gone for me in my career, my short career as a videographer and a photographer, is just, again, like I said, showing up, doing what I know I can do the best way I can. And I could go down a long list of things that I was able to do, but it's been really great. One of the biggest things, another thing that I really like, was being able to be a production coordinator for Condé Nast. Okay. That's one of the biggest things that I'm super proud of. Yeah. Super, super proud of. Yeah. And again, I got that. I started off as a PA. Made an impression, and then when the opportunity came, they called me. Yeah. And I was like, me?
Yeah.
Me, little me.
I know.
But it's so, like, in looking at the actual situation, I feel very humbled, because I don't feel like I did things to do that, even though I probably did a lot to do that. Yeah. But to me, it's those small things and just interpersonal connections that I feel helped me more than anything else.
Yeah. I feel like what's
a quick question. You said that you feel like things kind of came from opportunities other people gave you. Do you feel, because I also feel like a lot of the things that I've done in my career have been like so easy, like they've come to me so easy.
It was scary.
Do you feel like you were kind of like undeserving in a way? Because I feel like that sometimes.
I do.
I'm like, this can't be like good in any way. Like,
I do.
Like me, like.
So it's funny. I feel like that. And every time I feel like that, I do something. I purposely put myself in a position where I have to get something accomplished to give myself that assurity. Like, so with the art show right now, I'm in a space that's kind of like that. Like, I was coming off of, I was working for 2 years straight. Like, my first 2 months in my place, I didn't even get to stay there because I was shooting. And there did come a point where I was like, I don't feel like I necessarily had to work for any of these things. And so things kind of cooled off a little bit. And so now I'm in that place where I'm like, no. You did those things. You were in those places for a reason. And so now I'm in a place where I'm like, no, I'm going to show myself that was for a reason. Yeah. But what I like to do is and when I'm in those moments, it's normally when things have slowed down and you have that feeling of like, why am I not working so much? Like, it's not as busy as it was, that I'm like, no. First of all, life has its hills and valleys, and it can happen again. But to prove to myself, I always look for something to try to do that is either new or I've never done before, because I'm like, I like that assurance. I need that assurance sometimes. So whether it's been like I said, choreographing my first show when I was in LA, or opening a dance studio. I never owned a business before. When I have those moments of self-doubt, I like to wait, and I like to be like, okay, I'm going to prove it to myself now. I'm going to prove it to myself.
Because it's almost just like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because sometimes it's just like, at some point, this is all going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
Because this came way too easy.
Like, way too easy. Especially and then for me, leveling up, I was able to get a new place and do other things, and I was like, okay, all right,
you're like waiting for something bad to happen.
Exactly. But what I noticed is, in those moments, it's almost like, again, like I'll use the working out. Like, you start working out, you're like, this feels really, really easy. Like, am I actually like, you start to second guess yourself. And then you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to try 5 more pounds just to see if I really got it. And then when you do that and you accomplish that, you're like, okay. But what I learned is, when you do that and you set those goals for yourself and you push yourself to that level, a lot of times other opportunities come in from that. And then you're back on that roll again of like, all I did was do my own art show. I didn't know I was going to get called to do this job, and then this person saw that. But it's like it's a give and take. But I definitely there was definitely a point where I was looking at call sheets like, how is my name on here?
Literally.
Like, you're getting text message and you're like there was one in particular, I'll never forget, I screenshot and I was like, it just doesn't feel like it's supposed to be in my phone. Like, it just doesn't. But again, I pull from those when I move to the next thing. When I move to the next thing, I sit with myself and I'm like, do you remember that feeling like that your hair raised because you're looking around and you're like, wow, that's so-and-so, or wow, I really am in control of making these things happen, or I'm really going to produce something that's for this person. And you have that little freak out moment a little bit, you know?
Yes, I know. Exactly.
And so then you're like, okay, I did that. All right, now I'm going to try to put that energy towards something else. And what I try to do is I try to balance it between industry work and fulfilling work. And what I'll do is I'll try to take some of the excitement that I might have for the industry part of it, and I try to incorporate that into my personal.
Yeah.
And when you do,
that's what this show is for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you incorporate that, what you'll find is, again, like, people will see that, find the beauty in that. And I always said, I kind of felt like I had a duality in the industry. I had the part where I was working for big companies and stuff like that, but I got lucky enough from doing my own photo shoots and videos and stuff where people were calling me on a freelance way as well. And so for a number of years, it was like I really didn't feel that unsurety until you start to see how the corporate side of it, like strikes and, pandemics and stuff like that. And so, like, then you're like, okay, cool. Like, how do I maneuver that? But yeah, that imposter syndrome it never really goes away.
Yeah.
And again, for me, I'm an overthinker. That's why I say it's so important. It was so important for me to have people that spoke power into me. Because to me, I just never felt like this was of my own doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, and especially in production, it has to be of your own doing, because if no one knows you, or if no one likes you, or if no one knows what you do, like, you're just a body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's when you have to look at yourself and be like, okay, well, there is something I contributed. And for me, I would always be like, are they gonna call me again? Are they gonna call me again? Are they gonna call me again? But I would get called again. Like the first time I did the production coordinator for Condé Nast, I was the whole time after I left, because it was a temp position, I was like, did I do a good job? Like, was it good? Was it bad? Was it good? And then they called me back and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's when I started to give myself a little bit of credit in that area. Same thing with the shooting for Spin for BTS. Like, I was like, was I good? Like, did I do it right? Like, did I have the camera settings right? Like, was everything good? And then they called me back for another. And then I was like, okay, cool. So again, I try to stop and then take account of that.
And ground in those
and
moments.
Then allow myself to take that surety into something else. But while you're in it, you're just like, I'm here and I'm doing what I'm,
I think I should be doing. I know how to do it.
Yeah. And so, like, but again, I feel like life gives us the answers to a lot of our questions if we sit down and we look at it. A lot of, especially in the level that we're doing things, we have those assurances. We have that confirmation within ourselves, but we just have to let ourselves believe it and see it and actually believe it's real. Because it's so easy to look at everybody else on set and be like, they have it together. They probably got, like, and they're good, but you're there too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're there too. So it's again, it's a mind game. It's such a mind game. Yeah. Because you can be sitting in the spot, in the job, doing the job, and you're just still like...
And you're like, well, they probably went to school for this.
Exactly.
It's always something.
There's a reason why everyone else is there, but you don't give yourself that reason. And for me, a lot of the production side came from learning on the fly. Like, I didn't go to school for it. Yeah. It was just something, like, I did photography for the paper and stuff in high school and college, but it was not something that I went to school for. It was literally something I loved. Yeah. When I first moved here, I started paying my rent doing dance videos for dancers. Like, I would shoot like little dance videos, and when they would have live shows, this was before streaming and everything was big. I was literally the camera guy. I was either recording the show or I would hook up to the house so that they could stream the show for the house. Yeah. And So that's how it started for me, and being known as the camera person.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it took someone that was in this field that told me that whole power of words. They were like, you keep saying you're starting your portfolio, you're building your portfolio. No, you're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I changed that verbiage that it was like, you're right. Like, I'm actually doing photo shoots for people that are booking magazines. Like, they're using my photos for their agency.
Mm-hmm.
But I still kept saying, oh, well, I'm just building, because like I didn't feel like it was in my control. I was doing it for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I changed that thought process and the way I spoke about it,
because then you're always chasing it.
Yeah.
Right? If it's like I'm just building.
I'm
it's
going
like
to,
you're
I'm
always
about to.
Yeah, you're always chasing a far outcome, not realizing you're already there.
The first time I changed it, I got called to do a BTS for a really dope artist, and she was the one that took everything off for me. I went to just do BTS. She had a whole creative team. And what happened was we connected on a human level. Our visions aligned more. And the first music video I shot with her, we got on BET.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I couldn't have planned that. I could not have, structured that. If you told me to go do that, I couldn't have. All I did was I went on set. I loved what I was doing, and I showed that I loved it at what I was doing. So you just never know what can come from that.
Yeah, and I think that's what stands out for me the most about you, and what kind of like the theme of this episode was to be open. Like, even if you're not saying you're open, like in the way you talk about things, you are just open. You're open with who you are. You're open about the things that you love. You're open to helping, which means you're open to receiving, and that can be hard to do. And I think that's something people should take away from this, is like, just be open to the possibilities. Even if it doesn't look like it in that second what you wanted the opportunity to look like, that could be the key to the door of the opportunity that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just being open to kind of, maybe like, pivoting in a way also, to kind of, I don't want to backtrack, but I think the last time we spoke, and this just goes to like, say like you being open to different opportunities. Was it Rihanna?
Which one?
So I remember we spoke at the photo shoot, and you were saying you flew out here for, was it like a competition?
Yeah.
I don't want to get it wrong, but you flew out here, and that you didn't even think it was going to happen, and you ended up somewhere else.
Yeah. So my first time, like, actually was it my first time? No, it wasn't my first time in LA, but my first time coming to LA in a long time after I'd moved back from the whole 18 thing. Me and my crew, we had gotten a yes for America's Got Talent. And so we went on, we did the recording or whatever. We didn't get put on the show. We got the recording, oh yes, and everything. But while I was here, I was like, I didn't have an agent or anything, but I went to an audition, and my first audition, I got kept for Rihanna. And it was kind of like a confirmation, because I said, even if I come out here and nothing happens with the show or whatever, I wanted to give myself the chance to see where I kind of fell in LA before jumping out here. And I got kept for that audition, and that was kind of a confirmation. I'll never forget. I think I had just auditioned for an agent. Actually, I had auditioned for an agent. I didn't have an agent. I didn't get called back yet. And so I went to this audition. It was for signed and unsigned. Was it for signed and unsigned? Yeah, it was for signed and unsigned dancers. And I got kept, and I'll never forget calling the agent that I had auditioned for. I was like, hey, I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble, but I got kept. What should I do? But I will say in my career, I've definitely had to pivot a lot. I think having multiple tools, I know, a jack of all trades. I know the saying. I know jack of all trades.
I know.
Is a master of none. That's what I meant to say. I know that. But I had like a few adjacent trades that I was able to do, because in LA you gotta survive. You gotta have a regular job, a side job, and then the job that's going to get you to the next job. Right. So for me, it's like I kind of like have been very blessed to be able to have a number of things that are in a very similar pouch. Also, I love being in the industry. I love being around entertainment and stuff like that. And I learned at a really young age because I've worked around like certain celebrities, how you kind of have to maneuver. I've heard stories about people getting fired because they didn't know how to work or they talk too much.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
crazy.
and so for me, I'm just like, I take all those things and I put them together and I'm like, okay, so this is how I'm going to maneuver when I get to that. One of the things I'll never forget, this happened to me as a dancer when I was early in my career. I was sitting in a room with this really big choreographer and they were like, we need a black dancer for such and such. Who can we get? Who can we? And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, and I remember that feeling. I was like, I never want to be able to help and do something and not be at a level where I cannot get the call.
Yeah.
And that was something that I just for myself always had. So whether it was dance, whether it was photography, whether it was videography, I applied that to the point where I was just like, if I'm going to be in these rooms, I want to actually be an asset. And so again, it cuts across different, categories, but it's that making yourself versatile that really, really it helps. Like I always tell people when I go on set, I want to be an asset. Like, yes, I can work in camera department, but I've also worked in not wardrobing. It's the people that style the set. Set deck. I've also done set deck. I've also worked with musicians. I've been a creative director for, an artist. So like I try to bring those tools to it so that it doesn't feel like, well, when you call Mark, he can just only shoot something for you. And that's also helped me with longevity because
you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You're one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people get caught up in, again, it might be an LA thing or just an opportunity thing of like, what can I get from this thing, instead of having that mindset of like, how can I help you? How can I be an asset to your project? Now that you've kind of, you're continuing to do what you love and live out your dream and all these new things, is there anything that you are manifesting right now?
Okay. So my thing, I really want to shoot for Louis Vuitton.
That would be so dope.
That's what I want. I really want to shoot for Louis Vuitton. I'm putting that out there. I'm manifesting that.
Yep.
I feel like I do have I have a lot of work to do. But part of this, me taking the step to do this art exhibit, is I want to push myself to do this at a different level. Even sending out the invites for this was kind of nerve-wracking for me. Again, speaking to that imposter syndrome, I'm like, these people are real professionals and they do this stuff. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm the worst at asking people to look at my work. But I'm trying to overcome that. I sent the invitation.
Yeah.
So, but
and you go out to support, and you're super, you know what I mean? So you deserve the same.
Because I'm so sensitive and like self-conscious about support, I'm way more intentional now. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how big or how small, because I know how it feels to be on a stage and have 15 people clap for you, but they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know how that feels. I'm way more intentional about being supportive of people because it takes a lot to get on that stage, to get in front of that camera, to write those words. And so I'm so proud of it. And I've been lucky to see a lot of people in LA before they blew up in those beginning stages. And it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because especially as artists, we're sensitive about our stuff.
Yeah.
Like we are.
Yeah. It's understandably so. It's vulnerable.
Yeah.
To, art is a vulnerable thing in whatever capacity you do it. It's your baby.
Yeah.
Does life differ now from what you imagined it to be?
In what way?
I mean, I feel like it's like not an easy question, but like, because you started out knowing you were creative and all that stuff, I guess from like young me to older me? Or we could say that, or however you want to do it. Like, is there a way you saw yourself, like some people are like, even for me, sometimes I'm like, I mean, when I was younger, I thought I was already gonna have a house with a fence, with the kids,
when I was young, especially growing up in Tennessee, I thought I was gonna get married at 18. I thought I was gonna be married
We were
at
all
18.
delusional. Well,
Like,
we were delusional, and our parents knew we were delusional.
I thought I was gonna get married at 18. I thought probably dentist.
Yeah.
For sure, still in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Have family. Didn't see none of this. I saw none of this.
Yeah.
It wasn't until because I was born and raised in Memphis, and then we moved to Florida, and then I moved out here.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I actually was out here that things seemed like I could do it at a different level. Because even when I moved out here, the goal was just to be like a dancer on tour. Like, it wasn't to be, working with certain people and, working for certain brands. I think as I grew older and I learned what insurance and a paycheck was, like, it was like, okay, this is cool, but we got to find a way to do this, but like a little bit more like steady,
Yeah.
And so again, I took an assessment of things that I'd done and enjoyed and did pretty well. And I was like, okay, I've always wanted to be behind the camera. I've always wanted to be part of production. I've always wanted to do that. That would be self-fulfilling to me. And so that's when I kind of went out of that after that. But I was lucky because along the way of being a dancer, like going on tour, doing TV shows and stuff, you do get a kind of familiarity with certain things. And in LA, if you have the skills, you have a certain level of comfortability and you show certain, personality traits that people enjoy to have you around. I'll never forget, I did a interview when I was a dancer. I used to have something else I used to do. I used to have a dance website.
Okay.
And I got to meet Travis Payne. He was one of the choreographers for Michael Jackson. And I'll never forget, I asked him, because as a new dancer, I wanted to know, I was like, how do you feel about, people talking about nepotism and people only booking their friends for shows and tours and stuff? And then he kept it real with me. He was like, if you got to think about it, you're going to be on the road. You're going to be on this project for months. Would you rather have your friends or would you rather have strangers? And instead of taking that personally, what I applied that to is that does make sense. Like if I'm working with a celebrity, a lot of celebrities are insecure.
Yeah.
Or if I'm working with, people that work together in a group, how do you fit with the group?
Right.
How do you mesh? Like, are you there to just get what you can out of it and dip?
And go, yeah.
And so I applied that to the different categories of careers that I've been in. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be on set and I'm going to be able to be around this person and not make them feel like uncomfortable.
Right.
And so what I would learn, and it took me a while to notice this as well, is like a lot of times the artist or the director or the producer would give me their information. They would say we should go do this or we should go do that. And it wasn't because of, yes, I was good at my job, but I was able to talk to them about the most innocuous things. I was able to bring a level of peace or calm to them that they enjoyed having me around.
There's a lot to be said.
And so like, I always say the best things that have ever been given to me in this industry, I'll never, ever, ever, ever say differently, are words of wisdom, outlooks, the way people think about things.
So you think you should ask like questions that you're genuinely curious about?
Yeah,
like,
I believe there's a gift in being able to receive knowledge and just genuinely take that in. Like I apply different idioms and different thought processes to different parts. They pop up in my brain whenever I think about, the situation that I'm in. And it's like a bag of tools. And so over the years, I've gotten a lot of those. I've taken a lot of risks. I've been able to make myself look like, not a fool in a bad way, but like have that delusion to freestyle in front of this amazing dancer and I probably looked crazy, or to show this super big photographer my stupid bad shot that I did. But again, it goes back to that childhood, you know what I'm saying? When you don't know what you don't know, you're just excited to share. And when people see that, they're like, okay.
Because they probably see a little bit of themselves in you. Everyone was at that point.
Yes.
And they're probably like, no, like I know exactly what
they
he's
can
feeling.
resonate with that. And when you find someone that you can resonate with on a certain level and you can vibrate with, it's like, that's electrifying to us as humans. That makes more of an impression than if you did the job exactly perfect. Like, yeah, you're going to get a call back. But like, well, I want you to come into my home and shoot a promo for this, or would I want you around for these rehearsals and stuff? Like,
it's a different level.
That's the difference between just the job and then longevity. Like, there's been multiple people that I've gotten a call and I was like, hey, so-and-so has a promo they need to do for this product. Can you come to the house? And I'm, again, imposter syndrome. I'm like,
to the home,
to the house. Like, I'm like, you don't,
sure you want me in your house?
Me, like, alone, like, no company behind my name, just like me and my camera. You have those moments. You have those moments, and you sit in there, you're like, wow, they called me. Like, that's just my phone number. Like, it's not someone else. And
direct contact.
Yeah, you have to. Again, for me, when I'm in those moments where that like right now where there's a lull, I remember like, no, you got that call for you to come to the house of this person. Like you had, and again in LA, those things matter. Like having people's addresses and their personal information and contact, like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So to be able to get that, it again, if you're in the proper mindset, you're present and you're able to give yourself the credit, it's such a needed reassurance because LA doesn't always give you reassurances. You just do the job and then you're out. You don't know if you did good. You don't know if you did bad. You don't know if they liked it. They may have hated it because we're all creatives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can do something perfect technically, but feeling wise, the person didn't like it. So it's a lot of recounting and being observant. Yeah. Like I'd say the best thing that I was able to do is to be able to stop and be observant because when you're working and it's back to back to back to back, it's like I said, when you're younger, like you get these opportunities, you feel like they're going to continue. You don't feel like you had to work for them, but there is some work going involved, whether it's work on yourself, whether it's work on your craft. Yeah. There's definitely work involved to do it at the levels that we're doing it.
100%. So going back to collecting, just wisdom from where we can, is there a book, if you're a reader, is there a book that you've read or even just any type of resource that has like helped you that you feel might be helpful to the listeners?
It's going to be so cliche because I read the cliche ones. Alchemist. Yeah. Power of Now.
But they're great books, and it's why people continue to talk about them.
Power of Now, and then Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Those are 3 books that, to me, because I'll put it like this. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read it for the financial information, but what it also taught me is losing is not a loss.
Yeah.
So that was something I pulled from there. The Power of Now is the thing that taught me about not worrying about what's before, what's after, being present in that moment, being able to take those things in, because what you don't realize is you're actually building up something for later if you get all you can out of that. The Alchemist gave me a lot of pointers on how to maneuver around people that might not necessarily just be on, we might not be on the same wavelength, but to be able to interact in a way that is not so disruptive. You know what I'm saying? But still be able to be at peace with yourself. You know? Because sometimes it can be chaotic.
Yeah.
And it feels like in order to cut through the sound, you have to be chaotic. But that's not always the case. So I kind of like pull different things from different books and I apply them in different ways. Like for example, what I said with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a loss not being a loss. Sometimes you have to lose things in order to make space for other things.
Yes, you just gotta let go.
You just do. Or sometimes things may not be for you that you are trying to make for you.
So hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm guilty of it. You try so hard.
Like this is going to happen.
Yes. And it's just like that could be what you're praying so hard for could actually be very detrimental to the outcome that you're actually trying to make come to fruition.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you just gotta let go sometimes. It gets easier. Like for me, it's so much easier to like assess a situation, person, place, thing, job, and be like, okay,
Sometimes it gets so easy you have to second guess yourself. Like, is this too easy for me?
Right. Am I just cutting things off at this point? But like, it's just like, no, I know myself. I know my boundaries. I know what I want, where I'm going. So like, and a question that I asked myself, and I just said this in the car, and it makes it easy for me. Like, if I get to a point where I feel like something is energetically clinging to me, where it's like, it's taking a lot of my focus, or even just some of it, to where I can't completely focus, I ask myself, future you or this thing? And at that point, it's like, I'm not going to sacrifice my future me. So like, you got to just let it go.
Yeah.
And that might be.
Yeah. So that will be one thing that I'm just like, to me, that was just, I was like, wait, not every loss is a loss.
And it'd be the small things that'd be mind blowing.
Like, wait, like, you're right.
You actually
like,
onto something.
Also, too, I've learned, sometimes when you're in not necessarily a loss, but you're in that learning or new phase, that opens up for someone to be able to pour into you.
Yeah.
Someone genuine to be able to pour into you.
For sure. So something a little bit more fun to kind of tie everything up. This is a speed round.
Okay.
So it's going to be fill in the blank, kind of like complete the sentence.
Okay.
What pops into your head. This is a new one. This is not one that we did in the last episodes. We kind of came up with like a new fun one. So number 1, I feel most like myself when?
Ooh, I feel most like myself. Whew.
He's gonna go home and ponder on that.
No, that's a tricky one because I'm my happiest when I'm creating, but I feel most like myself when I am having in-depth conversations.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I've overthought about for years that I feel like I've learned. So when I have in-depth conversations, I like having in-depth conversations because I learn more about myself. Like I hear myself say certain things out loud, or I'll hear something. I think I had multiple revelations when we had the conversation at the studio. So I feel most like myself when I'm having a conversation about life.
It's like that reassurance to yourself, almost in a way. It's like, oh wait, no, like I know what I'm talking about. I know my wisdom. What I can understand that.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah. If I could tell my younger self one thing, it'd be
slow down.
The boldest thing I've ever done is
jumped into production.
Yeah. I instantly feel confident when I
smile.
Something I used to believe that I don't anymore is
I can control the future.
Yeah. A lot of us. My version of success looks like
happiness.
Yeah. The most unexpected blessing in my journey has been
friendship. Genuine friendship.
Yeah.
Long-lasting friendships.
Yeah. Because I'm sure like I said, the persona or what people think of the industry is like probably not the most positive. So to find that, I'm sure that's beautiful. I know I'm in alignment when
I know I'm in alignment when I'm at peace.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm not worried about what's happening next, that's how I know.
Yeah, that's a really great point. If fear wasn't a factor, I would.
Travel more.
Okay. Wait, why do you say that?
Because
I mean, I know I have a fear like solo traveling.
So yeah. So I spend most of my time working. First as a dancer, then I'm in production. So I don't travel as much as my family does. Like my sister just got back from Paris. So I feel like the American ignorance of feeling like I'm going to be in an episode of Taken if I go somewhere.
I know. That is why I don't solo travel.
People
because
are
I'm
like, oh, we just drove
me.
down to Mexico and no offense, but I swear I'm going to get taken by the cartel. I don't know where to go. There. I don't know where to go. I don't know,
I'm
so
glad we're on
I
the
would
same
travel
page,
more.
Because I'm like, I see all my friends, like I have friends that like, one of my friends, Alexis, she's gone to I think it was Italy. She went to like Hawaii. She went somewhere else by herself, and she'll just go. And I'm like, I admire that in you because to me, I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's going to be out here
Yep.
and going to be taken by the cartel. It's going to be me.
Yep. That's how I feel. And it's so ignorant. I know, but
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah. Well, we're on the same page, so you're not alone. One word to describe this chapter of life is
rewarding.
Ooh, okay.
Rewarding. There's a lot of things I'm learning.
Yeah.
But also a lot of things I'm receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say rewarding.
Okay.
Fulfilling.
Yeah. That's amazing. Amazing place to be. I feel like I maybe kind of asked this, but I don't feel like it was Delulu what you said. The most this is the last one for this. The most Delulu
I like
thing.
I wanted more. You got some more?
I know. We'll have to think of some more because these are good.
I like these.
The most Delulu thing you're manifesting right now is
I would have to say the most Delulu thing I'm manifesting. Being a freelance high fashion photographer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's you're on your way.
Yeah, that's it.
If not, you're already living it.
I'm not yet, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
He's like, nope, I'm mindful enough.
There's a few. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's it. That would be it for me.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope whoever's listening to this, if you have someone in mind, to share it with them, to listen to, and to know that even when it's hard, life gives us little surprises, and something you're waiting for could be on the other side of a pivot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to remember that whether you're in the middle of a breakthrough, a breakdown, or just figuring it out, take it one step at a time. You're not behind. You're being built. Be sure to follow us, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Alchemize Your Life.